So some of these self-care habits are things that I've been doing for years and years, and others are more relatively recent additions to my life, but they all truly do make me feel like a better person. They really do improve my life, but all in different ways. And in this video, I'm not just talking about drinking more water and eating healthier, although I do try to do those things, and those are obviously really important. But some of the self-care habits that I'm talking about are slightly more unique. So let's talk about it. Hello friends, welcome back. Happy to see you. If you're new here, my name's Jillz and I help women step into their power, tap into their divine feminine, and become their best self. So if that's something you want to do, you should subscribe and stick around. Okay, so just to clarify before I dive in, all of these self-care habits are things that have personally upgraded my life, that make me feel better. I'm not saying that everyone has to do these things. I'm just saying I really like these things. They've helped me a lot, but they likely will help you too. Now, you guys know by now, if you're a regular around here, that I love reading. And I've mostly read all nonfiction over the past 10 years, especially like any sort of self-development book, whether it's talking about spirituality or mindset or relationships or money. I love it all. But one of my goals this summer was to start reading fiction again, just for fun. And I have successfully done that thanks to a lot of you guys who recommended some great books for me. But I started reading the Akatar series and it's really good. I just finished book number 2 last night. But also, in an unrelated note, for many years, I sometimes struggle to fall asleep. Not like full-on insomnia mode, it's not terrible, but sometimes I just lay in bed for like a little bit too long. It's usually just because my mind just keeps going and going. My mind is like pretty active, and it's not like I'm laying there and just like stressing about all these crazy things. It's just sometimes like my mind can't wind down. But all of a sudden, when I started reading fiction, which was probably just like a month and a half ago, I started reading consistently every night before bed for like 30 or 45 minutes. I realized that when I put my book away and turned off my light, it was just like just falling right to sleep every single time. And wow, it was magical. Good sleep is literally so important for just feeling good and being able to fully take advantage of your days. We all know this. Some of the best self-care habits you can do are ones that improve the quality of your sleep. And so this has been a really happy surprise. When I read fiction, especially before bed, it just really winds me down for the night and gets me more into a relaxed state. And another perk of this too is because I'm naturally a little bit more of a night owl. Sometimes I really struggle with like being responsible and getting myself to go to bed at a reasonable time. And I've always kind of struggled with this. I've always wanted to stay up later than I should. But now that I have a good fiction book to read before bed, now that I love the story, every time when it's like nighttime, ready to go to bed, I'm like, ooh, I get to go to bed and sit in bed with my book. Like, it gets me into bed on time because I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, this is a very recent habit that I've been doing, but I'm definitely going to keep doing this. I'm going to read the whole series, and then I'm definitely going to keep reading fiction before bed. It's not like I'm going to stop reading self-development books, but I'm going to save those for more of the morning or the daytime, and then save my fiction books for at night right before bed. It has truly been making me feel great and really helping me sleep. Next self-care habit is more general, and I know that I've talked about this before, but it really is just so important for my well-being that I can't not mention it. And that is just prioritizing keeping my home clean and tidy and organized, well, organized enough, and having it just be homey and comfy and nice to live in. And I don't think this is just me, I think this is everyone, but especially women. We like our homes nice. That's just the way it is. When my home is nice and clean and taken care of and comfy and pretty to look at, I'm just a happier, calmer person. I feel less overwhelmed. I feel safer. I can think better. It's easier for me to be productive. It's easier for me to keep my healthy habits for some reason. And it's also easier for me to relax when I want to or when I need to. I'm not saying that I'm like constantly cleaning and never doing anything else. I just try to keep a clean home and not let things get too out of hand, and I view our home cleaners as an investment in myself, because it is. And also not just like keeping it clean, but making sure that it's homey and cozy. You have cute blankets and cute pillows you love. There's cute houseplants everywhere, or art on the wall that you love, or candles or essential oils that you love that make you feel good. Your home is your sanctuary, and it should be a safe space. But like I said, I love plants. I have 5 plants in my living room. I have 2 plants in our master bedroom. And then whenever we're done redoing the office downstairs, that's I think is gonna be my office, I'm probably gonna add like a plant or 2 there as well. They just add like a little bit of life to the room, and they also help to purify the air. Speaking of plants, let's talk about Planta, who is kindly sponsoring this video. Planta is an award-winning app that not only helps you keep your plants alive, but helps them thrive. Plants can be tricky sometimes, and they can be a little intimidating. You know, you don't want to just buy a bunch of plants and have them all die. But they really do add so much life and beauty to a home, and they're so calming. But Planta makes it so easy to take care of your plants, especially with their intelligent care schedule. You can just add all the plants into the app, and you don't even have to know what type of plant it is. You can just scan it in, and Planta will tell you exactly what it is and when to water it or fertilize it, repot it, mist it, clean it, or whatever it is that it needs depending on the plant. And you can even name your plants too, which I think is really cute. And the schedule is all in the app for you. They make it so easy, you really can't mess it up. Another feature of Planta that's super cool is their Dr. Planta. So if you have a plant that's like not doing so hot, you know, it's starting to look a little droopy, or maybe the leaves are starting to get discolored or whatnot, it helps you diagnose and figure out what's likely wrong with that plant and how to fix it. And they give you a treatment plan so you can bring it back to that full vibrancy. It also has a plant identification tool, as well as their light meter and a Discover tab with lots of helpful plant content. Planta makes it so much easier to take care of your plants. They take all the confusion out of it. And if you're looking for some low maintenance plants, which is usually what I like, Planta can give you personalized recommendations based off of your home environment and your commitment level and all that. But I definitely recommend something like a ZZ plant. I have 2 of them. You literally cannot kill them. Or a snake plant or something like that. Very easy. If you want to check out all that Planta has to offer, you can use the code Jillz14 to get a 14-day free trial on Planta's 12-month premium plan, so you can use all those cool and helpful features that I just talked about and help your plants thrive. Okay, so next self-care habit is baths. And you might think, oh, that's what so many people say about self-care. Take baths. If you want to get in your feminine energy, take baths. And obviously self-care is not all about bubble baths, and baths aren't going to solve all your problems. But I want to tell you specifically what I use them for and why they help me so much. So obviously baths or showers or whatever is obviously great for hygiene, but that's not why I do it. I feel like I'm a pretty energetically sensitive person, and water is very energetically purifying. Stepping out of water, whether it's a bath or a shower or out of an ocean or lake, it's like a transformation for me. Water washes away all that stuck, stagnant energy. If I want to get in a different headspace, I get into water. Like if I have been in doing mode all day, very much in my masculine energy all day, and I want to switch into my more feminine side, my softer side, that relaxed state, I get in the shower or the bath and I quite literally wash it off of me. When you get into water, you can come out a whole new person. People will say they need to go on these big travel adventures to feel transformed and renewed, and I like those too. But sometimes you can get those same exact feelings just by taking a good shower. If you're in a bad mood or had a crappy morning, take a shower or a bath and start over. Transform, wash it all off of you. You can visualize it washing off of you, or you can just feel how good the water feels on your body, or you can just relax in there. But the point is that from a spiritual perspective, water is such a great purifier, and it is such a great vessel to step into another version of yourself. For me, water is the hallway to a mini transformation. So like for a practical example, if I ever get sick, whenever I know that I'm not getting any worse, I'm kind of just on the up now, just only gonna get better from here, I like to take lots of showers and lots of baths so I can wash off that stuck, stagnant, sick energy, get that energy off of me. And I always feel better after I get out. And I'm not like healed or anything, but I feel lighter. I feel renewed. And like I just got rid of that gross, sick energy. To me, water spiritually symbolizes purity, peace, and transformation. And this is a habit or a ritual that I have been doing for a long, long time because it helps me so much. I love baths so much that I have literally considered starting a side business related to it. I love them that much. Water is powerful for me, and it can be for you too if you decide you want it to be. Next self-care habit is more mindset focused. It's more of a way of thinking in a way that I challenge myself. So you know how sometimes like we're just in a bad mood. We just wake up feeling a little bit grumpy or off or blah or meh. It just happens sometimes. And in those moments, sometimes we can get stuck there for no good reason and keep perpetuating our own grumpiness. So the self-care habit I do is to sit with that for a sec and be like, okay, this is how I'm feeling now, but this is how I actually want to feel. this is what it would feel like if I felt peaceful and happy. And I think about those two things, and I remind myself that the only thing stopping me from feeling that is me. I get to decide if I have a good day or not, and I make the choice to feel better. Life is short and I don't want to waste my days feeling meh. I'm not saying that if something really sad happens that you shouldn't grieve, or if something makes you angry that you shouldn't be angry. I'm talking about those days where you're just feeling off or grumpy. You're not feeling sad or angry, but you're not really feeling happy either. To some extent, we do get to choose how we want to feel, and we don't always have to fall into the trap of our negative thoughts. Sometimes we can just observe them and let them pass. Next self-care habit is simple: blackout curtains. When we redid our master bedroom in January, we got blackout curtains for the first time. And I've used them before at like hotels and such, but I've never actually had them in my house. And at first I was sleeping so much and so deeply that I wasn't waking up. Like, I felt like I could just keep sleeping forever. And I was honestly getting a little bit worried because I literally was just not waking up. And I was like, maybe I can't do blackout curtains. But I just kept using them anyways. And I kind of just tried to like let myself sleep and listen to my body and all that. And I think that this went on for probably like a month and a half or 2 months until eventually, finally, I started waking up on my own. And let me tell you, these blackout curtains are so great. I get such deep sleep. I sleep like a rock. And at first it honestly felt a little bit weird, like my sleep felt weird, but I think it was because it was just so deep. But they are amazing. Again, anything that really improves the quality of your sleep is a really important self-care habit in my opinion. And so every single night, once the sun sets and it's dark, I close the blackout curtains and I do like very moody lighting. All the lights in our master bedroom and bathroom are all on a dimmer, so I make them all like nice and moody. And then right when I get up, I open the blackout curtains and let in all that light. But yeah, they just really improve the quality of my sleep like 100%. And I got my blackout curtains in my bedroom from Pottery Barn, but there's a ton of other cheaper ones out there as well, like from Amazon. I actually got these blackout curtains right here that you can't see from my studio from Amazon. They work really, really well and they're really cheap. I mean, they're ugly, but they work. Okay, this next habit, I do this about once a month, and I just did this 2 days ago. So every new menstrual cycle, whenever that starts, is a new beginning for me. I take my journal and I sit in my bed and I write down everything. I write down all my goals for the next month. I write down the things that I want to prioritize, the things that I don't want to prioritize. I write down any new habits I want to start doing or any new routines I want to start doing. I really plan out my month, and I even write down like what I'd like to manifest in the near future. It doesn't need to be what I need to manifest this month. I don't like putting timelines on things like that, but just manifesting in the near future. So I don't follow new months or new beginnings on a calendar as much. Like a lot of people will see July 1st as the new beginning when they're gonna write down their goals. But I do this every new menstrual cycle, and I see my cycles as my months for me. And every new cycle is a fresh start, a time to renew and up level. And the reason why I do it this way is because we're more in touch with our bodies than we realize. And I always say that we should always work with our natural energy cycles and with our body instead of clashing against it. Your body renews every cycle, and you can too. I'll usually do this either right before my period or like day 1 or day 2 of my cycle. And then once I'm towards the end of my period, I am just naturally so ready. I'm like, let's do this, let's go. I'm pumped, I'm ready for life. And I'm so excited and so ready to start working towards those new goals or new habits or whatever. If you're not having a period for whatever reason, you can actually go with the cycles of the moon. So as humans, we are naturally very in touch with the phases of the moon, but especially women. And the moon is feminine. The moon has a 28-day cycle. Women have on average a 28-day hormonal cycle. The sun has a 24-hour cycle. Men have a 24-hour hormonal cycle. So follow the phases of the moon, where every new moon is like a new cycle, a new beginning, where you journal and write everything out. I've been doing this journaling, goal setting, new beginnings habit now every single cycle for many, many years now, and I always love it. I always just have so much energy and excitement going into that next month, that next cycle, and I always prefer to work with the months or cycles according to my own physiology rather than the months on a calendar. So actually something that my friend and I talked about in my most recent London vlog made me realize how important and how big of a self-care habit this is for me, and that is calling my friends. In that vlog, we talked about friendship and maintaining friends as an adult, especially when your friends don't live in the same city as you. And my closest friends, the ones who I have been friends with for 10 plus years, we all live all over the world. None of us are in the same city. But maintaining those friendships and having those girl chats is so important to my well-being. We're supposed to have that community. And yes, sometimes some friends aren't meant to be in your life forever, but you can't just use that as an excuse to not put any effort into maintaining a friendship. And I always hated talking on the phone, like I just never liked it. I'm always more of a texter. But I realized once I became adult, it becomes a lot harder to see your friends and talk to your friends. And I realized that I was getting a little bit lonely and that I needed to become a person who calls people. So I did, and I just randomly call my friends throughout the week, and some of them answer and some of them don't. But I just try to prioritize those friendships and prioritize our chats. Even when I feel like I have nothing to talk about, I call them anyways. I tend to do this a lot, either when I'm taking my dogs for a walk in the neighborhood or when I'm driving somewhere that's like about 30 minutes away or something, because I feel like that's a good chunk of time. And I just call them. It always makes me feel happier and more full. Call your long distance friends. Don't just text them, call them. The next self-care habit is something that I've also talked about before, but it is so important, and that is dressing for the day or dressing with intention. You know, I'm at home a lot and I could probably sit in my PJs most days and most people wouldn't know, but that doesn't make me feel very good. And I actually do enjoy looking cute and getting dressed up and wearing cute clothes. It makes me happy. It always makes me feel better when I do. But I want to make the point about dressing with intention and to dress up as the person that you want to be. And we don't always want to be that same person every single day. Like if your intention is to be really productive at work, dress like that. Dress whatever makes you feel like that. If your intention is to be softer, be more in your feminine energy, dress like that. If your intention is to be more active, wear a cute athleisure set. If your intention is to relax and be alone at home all day, then wear a cute lounge set that's comfy. But just dress with the intention of how you want to feel. Don't just dress in a certain way because it's what you've always worn. Dress based off of how you want to feel. It shifts your energy. It's such a little life hack. I'm not perfect at this, but I do try to do this regularly and it helps a lot. But I'm not gonna lie, there are some days where I don't get dressed until like 12:30 or 1, but I still try to do it. Even if it's late, it always makes me have a better day. All right, last self-care habit is, I guess you can call it a habit, is crying. Lol, literally. Okay, so I've never been much of a crier. Like sometimes crying can be hard for me, but crying is honestly so healing. It is very therapeutic. It is a way that your body self-regulates. It releases stress hormones. It's very soothing. And so sometimes if I'm feeling really stressed or sad or angry or overwhelmed or whatever, I'll take a second. This is my habit. I'll take a second and I'll be like, could I cry this out right now? And if so, I'll try to do it. Not like in the middle of a grocery store or anything, but you know, at home and in peace. If you're ever having like a really hard or frustrating day and you just take a second to like cry it out a little bit, it's not like it changes anything, right? Like nothing in the external world changes, but for some reason you feel better. You just feel calmer and you're like, it's okay. It's really common that we're taught that crying is bad, like when we're a kid, but it's a natural human response to dealing with emotional stress. And it's actually a very healthy way to cope and release and move forward. So for me, if I'm having lots of emotions and just feeling that heaviness, just the simple habit of choosing to let it go instead of keeping it in. This is something I have to consciously think about because it's always been hard for me. It's just not my norm. It's been a very therapeutic practice for me. Let me know what you thought of this video or any of these self-care habits. Share in the comments below. I'd love to know. Now, if you really liked this video, you'll probably also really like this video, 8 low vibe things I cut out of my life. So if you haven't seen it yet, you should go check it out. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I always appreciate you staying until the very end, and I will see you over there in this video, or I will just see you next time. Bye.